This is actually a map that often has a lot of problems, as you see here. Stupid maps. Okay, the problem was that there's not enough food out there for Boneng's side, so that's not gonna work out. Yukon, of course, is a map that once it has enough food available for both players, there is still it can be a good game. It's still a decent map. It's a lot more aggressive. The problem is that there are, of course, all these strong treasures on the left side across the river. But the last map just had way more food for Goodspeed. That means that it's just almost impossible for Boneng there to get his food to his town center and gather from there. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, we are streaming for quite some time. For everyone who just joined in, hi, my name is Vinny Vidivici. This is not a official match from the PK tournament. It is a show match rather, because both players decided to still show the match for the community, you out there, the fans, the sponsors, etc. Instead of not playing it at all. And that's why I'm still casting this for you, with of course the insights and stuff that you know from me. So far this map looks like we can at least start it. It looks pretty balanced. One more mine there for who is it, Boneng. But then again, of course, he is starting on top. That means Goodspeed. So he has the gold mine, which has 5k gold. So that effectively balances it out with the two mines that Boneng has for use later on. So this is now the fifth map in this BO9. Currently, Boneng is up 3-1 to Goodspeed. And we now have a Aztec, Goodspeed Aztecs versus Sioux matchup. Interesting. I think I haven't seen this one in this tournament yet, and actually, to be honest, I think I maybe seen this matchup like 1 or 2 times altogether. So we see that the Aztecs is going for a little bit more of an economic build there with the market right away. He did get 50 coin, Boneng 30 coin, and Boneng also took 40 wood. That means that Boneng probably has a bear running around somewhere. There it is. Of course, the 40 wood treasure is covered by a bear. So if you take a look at treasures here, we see that Boneng has available 20% hit points for the hero. Of course, I say available for Boneng because it's so close to his town center, but of course Goodspeed can still take it. Both of them are War Chief civilizations. That means both of them benefit a lot from a treasure like this, having their hero boosted in HP. Apart from that, we have 125 wood there, 300 coin, 150 coin, the coeur de bois, another coeur de bois, a pup, that's not that useful, and there we have, what is this again? A bear cup. Yeah, that's not something you want to invest on. And 90 food. 90 food actually would be a very nice one to take. And the problem is that, of course, the Sioux hero is very fast, so he can walk around very fast to all the sides to where the Aztecs is probably getting a treasure. But it looks like now that Sioux is going for this 125 wood treasure. He has one bear converted earlier, a second one just now, and that means that he can easily take it. And the Aztecs on the same time is not going for this treasure right away. He just converts one bear. Looks like he's going to go for this treasure then. Of course, you can use the bear or any guardian that you converted as a shield, by the way. We saw in this case that Boneng used his hero as a shield and lost some HP. But if you use your guardian as a shield, then you have more HP of your hero left, and that's usually better later on. Okay, Boneng did pick 40 wood and 125. Maybe he gathered some. He must have gathered some. So now he builds a trading post right away, and that's of course a very nice advantage for Sioux having additional shipments out there. Of course, just a quick reminder, the Sioux hero boosts any units in speed that are in his aura, that are in his like in his range, something like this, no more like this or so. And the Aztecs hero boosts the XP that you get from anything that you kill with any units that are in his aura. So for both of them it's important, of course, to keep their hero alive, and not to mention that you have a very big meat shield available in any battle. That's always a good thing. Sioux, of course, as we know, it's actually a very strong, close to OP civilization as well, with the bow riders being just so strong, and not just their mobility, because they can run fast from one side to the other. They can be used in battle, they can raid, they can even go raiding and be brought back at the last moment for a big fight. But also, they have a very good base damage, and they have a ton of HP. And that means that especially early on, the Sioux guy is able to make bow riders 555, even though it's such a costly unit. And that means that you still have a very strong army early on available, and that's of course not going to be easy, especially also for the Aztecs to deal with it. Aztecs not a bad civilization, but it's definitely not. I would give the upper hand to Sioux, to be honest, especially since this is a land map and not a water map. So now Goodspeed took out this bear earlier, the one. Now he converted the second, and he's now taking out the last bear to be able to rescue this Coeur de Bois. In the meantime, with the two bears that he had, Boneng saved this 150 coin treasure, and you saw now that he used one of his bears to take the hits rather than his hero, and I like it a lot. He saves a lot more HP, and maybe we will have a fight here. No, we won't. Yes, no, we won't. They're just gonna run back both. There we have a warhead from Sioux. Okay, interesting. Usually Sioux starts with a stable. I might add a warhead later, but he's going for a weird style perhaps. Keep in mind it is currently 3-1 for Boneng, so if he wins this one it's 4-1, and you need of course to win 5 games in a BO9 to win the series. Okay, the Aztecs did scout it now, so he knows that there's a warhead up, and that means, by the way, that if there's a warhead up, there can't be a stable up, so you don't have to expect any bow rider at this point. However, he can still ship, for example, the 4 X riders, that's something you have to deal with. The hero should be focused indeed on the Guardians, because they have bonus damage. The hero from the Sioux has... both actually have area damage. 4 X riders being shipped right away, in this case they came from the hometown, while the Aztecs is still making with 2 villagers only his warhead, so it has to be gonna be really close if he's gonna even succeed in getting up his... yeah, he should be getting it up, but that's very risky. It was really close. He will get it up, and then of course save it. Oh, he had 1 Coeur de Bois, that helped also of course a little bit in speeding up the building process there. A very standard raid with the X riders here from Sioux, just to make sure your opponent can gather freely at this point, deny him from some resources, and that of course always fucks up your BO a little bit. And he lost 1 village there, and he lost a lot of HP on that medicine man, the priest actually. So he's going for Satan bows. Actually, I think this strategy does make it easier for Aztecs to deal with it, because then you can go for more Coyote Mesotin style, because Coyotes are just so good. On the other hand, I do expect Boneng to add stables not too late, because he really needs to mix in X riders and or bow riders to deal with an Aztecs army. Of course, having scouted that warhead, Aztecs is starting with the Coyotes, and he also shipped 5 pikemen, probably because of the 4 X riders. So, actually 6 pikemen by the way. So he will be able to fend this off for now, and that means that Boneng here is gonna bring his army together to deal with his army from Goodspeed. Keep in mind, by the way, Sioux guys, they don't have to build houses, they start with 200 population, so no need to waste wood on houses. Oh, he's gonna lose 1 pikeman, and the second one actually almost, and he's even gonna be in range of this other pikeman. He's now gonna be microing as best as possible. That means turning around if the units are in range, and you can do damage with the pikeman, but don't stay there too long, because if the cavalry pulls back, the Satan bow in the back will just deal with your pikeman very fast. He's trading quite okay, also taking out the hero. This is of course 100 XP, that's actually quite a nice trade. I would really like to see this pikeman on the cavalry as he's doing now, and the Coyote was still doing damage on the Satan bow. Quite nice micro by both. Actually I think the trade was in the end a little bit better for Sioux, but just a little bit. He makes some war clubs and he ships some war clubs, so he definitely needs the Mesothins to deal with that. I would prefer the warhead being targeted on the cavalry if he can. He's also using the Coyotes now. Very nice micro there by the way, being out of range from these war clubs while still using the Coyotes as best as possible to fend off that X-Rider. The warhead should now be aimed on the war clubs instead of on the Satan bows, and you see that he's doing a very good job with microing the Mesoltins on the war clubs, which are now all dead, and the new coyotes popping out, which will deal with the Satan bows, which are of course not the best archer here in the game. Yeah, so interesting playstyle, but you see now that Boneng is 20 down in score. The reason why Sioux is played with his table is not just because it's fun. Well, actually, it's probably not even fun because it's just too lame. But anyway, there's a good reason for it. That's because it's probably the strongest thing to do. Mixing in bow rise, they kind of counter everything. They even do okay versus musketeers. They do very good versus Mesoltins still because of their good, decent base attack and their HP. And then mix in X-Riders. So actually, your bow rider is often like your anti anything. It deals with cavalry. It deals with musketeers. It deals with pikemen. It deals with everything, and then you have X-Riders who deal with the really skirmish heavy unit like Mesoltins. So, and from that on you can still age, as we saw for example Nagayumi doing once, and go to the third age, and there you have your Wakina rifles available, which are very strong, dog soldiers as well. Yeah, so it's really interesting but weird actually that he doesn't go for a stable. He's getting a lot of wood still, I'm not sure what he's gonna go for. The war clubs, of course, cost 50 food and 40 wood. He mixes in 2 of the dog soldiers, that's his shipment. They do very good versus infantry, but they're also still pretty decent versus coyotes because of a lot of HP and attack. Okay, and now Aztecs is pushing on the Sioux here. Oh, 3 war clubs popping out there dealing with the coyotes, and now of course we have a lot of war clubs who are going to deal with. The thing is that he has now a melee army. All of his units are melee. That means that the Aztecs need to bring in pikemen, deal with it a little bit better, or more coyotes. Yeah, this is going to be a battle that's going to be won by the Sioux, of course. It's not over yet because of course the dog soldiers are quite an investment and it takes 1 card, so it is quite logical that he wins this battle at this point. I'm pretty surprised that Goodspeed was out so far on the map. Don't use he's gonna lose his villages perhaps, he has to be very careful. The warhead should be focused on the cavalry again, by the way, just to make sure that you deal the optimal amount of damage. He's gonna let his villages gather and just use coyotes a little bit to fend off this, but I'm not sure if that's the best choice in this moment. On the other hand, he doesn't have any food available other than what is on this side of the map. Some more war clubs coming out, so Sioux is just going for the whole melee army. These pikemen, of course, are very good. They will do decent damage versus cavalry, 100 more XP there for the Aztecs. And they will still deal pretty good damage versus the war clubs as well, because as you see here, 12 versus 10, with a little more HP. They cost a little more as well. And also they will, of course, be able to deal with any cavalry. And there you see, not the best micro there from Goodspeed. Okay, he ships 9 Mesoltins, so the Mesoltins will be able to deal with these war clubs, while the pikemen should be focused on the dog soldiers there. And actually this is something that the Sioux can just win here, because the dog soldiers still do pretty good for his infantry as well. He's running nicely around these Mesoltins to be able to stay back from the pikemen, but he can just fight this actually, no problem. I mean, look at this, he 2 hits, the pikeman is dead, so he can take out all these Mesoltins as well. He's even calling the Aztec Minutemen, the warriors from the fire pit, to help defend this. Because any damage that you can do on this Sioux hero so far is of course good, because as soon as you take this out, Sioux kind of loses the option to pressure as well. So more war clubs coming in there, so yeah, why is he not just making a stable? He has a trading post that of course helped him to put on this pressure here so far, with all these shipments available. Okay, so he can change his war here, fire pit back to normal, because he doesn't need any more Minutemen. So well played by Goodspeed there, defending with it. Of course he has the 8 Mesoltin shipment available because he only used the 9 Mesoltin before. Goodspeed should, Boneng should know that. On the other hand, I think he did quite some damage still, so I think it was an okay trade nonetheless. So he's going for more war clubs again. The problem is, if Goodspeed is mixing in this 3-unit composition army of skirmishers, pikemen and cavalry, the coyotes, then he will be able with good micro to deal with this probably, because he can use the pikemen to block the war clubs as well, while the cheap Mesoltins in the back will still do decent damage. So just war clubs and cavalry, if he is going for it, finally stable, it's probably not going to cut it. But then again, if he would mix in war clubs, cavalry and bow rider, or just again go to the basic composition of bow rider and X-Riders, that would still be very hard for Goodspeed to deal with. 3 bears being shipped, let me show that, that's a nice card there, from the Sioux guy here. Also he has, of course, cavalry HP available. He used both his clubs, and he has his AE has also used, I think, sorry, Satan bows. He uses 700 wood also, I believe. Okay, wait a second. We're gonna have a fight here. Pikeman being focused on the ward, and the ward is gonna be taken out. Oh no, yes it is. And now this is not enough army, I feel. You see the pikeman is gonna be targeted on the X-Riders and the war clubs as well. The bear should actually be targeted on the pikeman because pikemen don't really counter bears, but pikemen do counter cavalry. He's doing that nicely, and the war club should also be targeted on the pikemen, while the cavalry should be focused on the hyenas, or on the Mesotin, sorry, as he's doing now. This hero also soaking up a lot of damage, you see here. It looks like it's going to be a very even battle still. This bear is going to be taken out, and this... I think it was a better battle actually for... sorry, for Goodspeed, because he lost less resources cost effectively given what he put in. Look at this. Okay, but more X-Riders joining the battle there, and that means that he needs some coyotes or pikemen to deal with it. Look at this bear, by the way, 264 HP, 32 attack. It's really, really nice unit to mix in. But yeah, that he won it, of course, especially with the X-Riders they mixed in. Of course, that means that he invested a lot more in it as well, and now Goodspeed is gonna lose some villages. We see that now this hunt is being used by Boneng there, and he's running away. That's interesting because he only has 5 coyotes, so he doesn't really have to run away. There's some nice micro going on here, trying to pick up any HP that you can. Of course, Goodspeed doesn't really want to pull all his villagers back because that's his only income, and as he pulls back all his villagers, he won't have any more income. This hero is going to run away, trying to lure the coyotes back to him, and he's now going to pick one. He killed 2 or 3 villagers, but now he has more coyotes joining the battle, and that means that he can deal with it. If he doesn't going to lose his coeur de bois, he is going to lose it. That's a little bit sloppy. He should have stayed here, and also he should bring in this hunt towards his town center. He should herd it closer. The hero escapes of Sioux, and the Aztecs hero is still there. He can of course rescue it because it now has 125 HP. If we take a quick look, Boneng is still behind in score, and if you take a look at the village account, Boneng hasn't shipped his 4 villages yet. He still has his card available. The Aztecs has shipped his 5 villages, but the village account is the same. However, the Aztecs did more economy early on with the market, so he has more, as you see there, more economy, so he has more units available to make. Quick look at his deck. He has the 5 villager card there. He also has the 4 villager card still available, so you can still use that one. And I assume he also, yes, he did indeed use the coyote card already. Of course, in this matchup, in this battle, you do want to have your coyotes upgraded. Ooh, but we're gonna see that he's gonna lose all... Oh wait, sorry. I was gonna go all crazy mode there, but they looked like they had an orange skirt on, but it turned out to be Sioux villagers, not Aztecs villagers. I thought he was gonna lose like 6 villagers over there. Panic for nothing. A warhead there for more of a defensive position there, of course, securing all this food. And now these raiding coyotes will find this bear, should take it out, and should also take out these villages if Boneng gonna get them back. He revives his hero, he mixes in pikemen, he's also mixing another warhead there for more map control, and actually this game looks like a game that Goodspeed, with some of the battles that he took that I felt were a little bit more in his advantage, it looks like a game that Goodspeed should be able to take. However, it's not over yet. We have the Sioux with their OP bow riders, now going in for a raid, of course having this scouted, but he doesn't know about the warhead yet. So Goodspeed have to be very careful, because as soon as this comes in and moves here and blocks all his villages, it's going to be really, really hard to move them back. 600 coin, maybe he's going for an AJAP or just more pikemen. We have to see what he's going to do with it. Quite okay response, given that the LOS line of sight is like here, but he's still losing like 4 villages, and that means that it's still a setback in economy, because you're not able to track this down easily, because of the speed of the Sioux hero. They will just run so fast. He's not going to do it, he's just going to raid, he's not going to track it down, he's just going to raid with his coyotes and try to use the pikemen and stuff to deal with his army, but he's going to lose some villages there, very sloppy. He should have pulled them back on time, he should have known that the bow riders would come in like there. Okay, he will take out 2 villages there in a bit. However, he loses 1 more villager there, no villager HP by the way for either one of them. Sioux doesn't even have a market by the way, so that's why his economy is so much less. Finally... Oh, losing more villages there. You see that he's going to move this way, then why don't you move your villages back, or at least temporarily back this way, to then better deal with the army of Sioux, while you bring up your own army there. Okay, finally the coyotes, he waited for me to spot this out there. Finally they deal with these 2 villages. But still, even though he killed all the villagers, Sioux killed all the villagers of the Aztecs, still give the advantage to the Aztecs, though it is looking, look at this, from 37 to 29, it's a lot. And now he shipped the 4 villages. Oh, the Aztecs also shipped the 4 villages here, by the way, so yeah, it's getting quite close there. Okay, and the bow riders are now in position, and they now will be able to trap the coyotes. That's why Goodspeed needs to bring up his whole army there, and actually just fight with this. He's gonna lose it anyway. Bring his whole army immediately to here. This is a very cost-effective trade for Boneng because he will be able to release micro very nicely, you see over there, but he will be able to deal with his army because he had outmassed a small chunk of Goodspeed's army, so he will take as much damage as Goodspeed did. Of course, the Mesoltins will be able to deal with some of the bow riders while the pikemen quickly siege the stable. Very big massive pikemen, that's what the 600 coin was used for, of course. And there we have the pikemen dealing with the X-riders. And of course, in melee mode they are still good for his bow riders, but the problem is, if you go in melee mode, you can just run the bow riders back and micro your way against the pikemen, while the other bow riders in the back are using their range to shoot the pikemen, as you see over here. Even I would like to have some of these bow riders moving close to the Mesoltins, so that the Mesoltins starting to do melee damage instead of range damage. But he has to really micro several fronts now. As you see here, he has to micro versus these pikemen, but he also has to micro versus these pikemen. He just decides to just run away with everything. He's gonna lose some bow riders there. He's just microing decently, but this is looking very, very good for Goodspeed. He's losing 2 more bow riders there, and this one is gonna run away, but he's now losing another bow rider here. Of course, what you see Goodspeed doing very nicely here, targeting different pikemen on different bow riders. As you know, in Age of Empires, the units that get attacked will be slowed down. If you attack the last one, the whole group will slow down unless he leaves one behind. What will often happen is that he leaves one behind so that the rest of the group can run. If you then attack not only the back one, but also the second one to the back, the third one to the back, etc., you prevent 3 or maybe even 4 units from running away. That means, of course, you can kill more and just get more damage done. Pikemen going to a trading post now. That's kind of the last hope for Sioux left. No market still, of course. No more gold mine there. This one is still has enough left, though. But just no economy for Sioux. And even though the scores look quite close, again, don't be deceived because of the scores. Although usually that means that Sioux is actually quite ahead. But in this case, the Aztecs just had a lot. You don't have to take into account just the army that they have. You also have to take into account the positioning and unit composition that they have. Positioning, I mean, for example, the warrior here having access to these resources, having access to these resources. Positioning, I mean that, for example, these pikemen were doing a very nice job with taking out a trading post while these other units of the Sioux were raiding, and now these Mesoltin will be able to deal with these Sioux bow riders there. And that should probably be the end of this game, and especially as he's now going to raid these villages there. Of course, he's not going to get these villages quite easily with the pikemen, but he prevents the Sioux from gathering any resources. Sorry. The Sioux is raiding here a little bit on the Aztecs, but at what cost? I mean, he's going to lose 2-3 bow riders there and kills 1 or 2 villages, but his army is rapidly decreasing in value. And not much is left there. He's doing as much as he can. Finally upgraded the villager HP. You see it helps a lot. He even saves this villager now. And this big chunk is just waiting to get trapped by any pikemans or coyotes. He goes to the gold mine. 5k gold available. While the Mesoltin are desperately trying to chase down the bow riders. He takes out the hero. That's another 100 XP, although it's not that needed at this point anymore. But it is indeed making sure that the units from the Sioux guy can't really raid as effective as they could because they don't have as much speed as they had. Of course, bow riders still have a lot of speed, so they can still be used as annoying as you see here. But let's say less annoying. This is just a waiting game for a little bit because actually Boneng is just out, I would say. Not much he can do, and now we have all these pikemen going for a town center, and as soon as that's down, there's not much left for Boneng to go for. He ages up. Okay, he manages to age to the 3rd age. It was indeed a little bit expected. I didn't mention it, sorry, but he was not making any more units, but I was still gathering some stuff. However, this is of course not going to help him because this food, yeah, he can make some more units, but he's going to lose the town center. He's probably he's not stable anymore. Also, he's not even gathering wood. He just gathers gold. Did he go for a fast industrial? What was the idea there? I'm not sure what his plan was, but he has no stable up yet. So he was gathering a lot of food and gold still, but no stable up yet. So good game there, Goodspeed taking this, well played by him. I felt that the strategy of Boneng was okay to start with. I mean, trading post I like, but I'm not sure. I just don't like the warhead start. There's a reason why Sioux is OP because of the bow riders and stuff, and not just because of the warhead strategy, especially versus an infantry civilization like Aztecs with a lot of defensive options. But maybe he just wanted to mix in something else instead of the boring bow riders strategy. So good job there by Goodspeed. That makes it a 4-2. Boneng having 4, Goodspeed having a score of 2 now. Sorry, 3-2, not 4-2. And I will be quickly going to the bathroom, so be right back. Okay, I'm back again. So hi everyone, for everyone who just tuned in. We are playing currently the show match between Goodspeed and Boneng. A quick reminder: it's not an official match of the PK tournament. It's just a show match because of some of the issues that happened, and they just wanted to still show the community defense sponsors some good games, as we definitely have here. It is a BO9. It is of course a very long series. But these games are very interesting. We saw some new nice strategies. We saw also some new interesting matchups because of a few changes that we made. For example, we have so far the rule that we kind of agreed on with the four of us. The maps are the same, but we agreed that we have not the same civilization rule, and in the way that you can play any civilization only once, even if you lose, and not like twice in a row or stuff like that, but just every civilization you can play only once. That means that you have more variety in the game, and that's of course probably nicer for you to watch as well.
Yes.
So far we had game 1, which was French versus British. Boneng French, Boneng won it. No, sorry. French versus British, Goodspeed won it, being British. Second game was on Saguenay, Boneng Portuguese, Goodspeed Japanese, Boneng won that. Third game Himalayas, Boneng Japanese, Goodspeed German, Boneng won it. Fourth one on Patagonia, Boneng Dutch, Goodspeed India, Boneng won it. And the last one was on Yukon, Goodspeed Aztecs and Boneng Sioux, and Boneng Goodspeed won that. So that means that we are now 3-2. And we are going into the 6th game then, on Yucatan of course. Goodspeed has to change the civilization because he used Aztecs already once, and Ottomans was not being used yet by Boneng, so Goodspeed, so Boneng can still go for Ottomans. It's a BO9 by the way, guys. Okay, so Goodspeed is going for Iroquois and Boneng going for Ottomans. That means, of course, that we're probably still going to see Iroquois Ottoman swapped. So that means that Goodspeed going to be Ottomans and Boneng Iroquois later on, I think. Of course, there are still a strong civilization available, but this rule that we kind of agreed with the four of us, I think is really nice because it just gives you a better variety of matches, like the British-French stuff and the Dutch-India. It just shows some more interesting variations and playstyles, and that's just something which is nice in my opinion. So BO9, 3-2 currently for Boneng. This is the 6th game. Keep in mind BO9, that means the first 1 to 5 will win this series, so it's not going to be over yet. Boneng is Ottomans and Goodspeed is Iroquois. This is a water map, and we know that Boneng likes to play on water with any civilization, Russia, Portuguese, Ottomans. We've seen his Ottoman water strategies on Saguenay, New England, sorry, a couple of times. So we might see something like this here as well. On the other hand, versus Iroquois, Ottoman still has the option to go for Abasgan Janissaries or the Fast Fortress. But I think that Boneng is going for water. We have to see how it plays out. Iroquois, on the other hand, doesn't have that much of a water play. Of course, they can go for water, but it's not the best civilization to go for water. What Iroquois is probably going to do is go for a map control with the warhead somewhere in the center and pressure the Ottoman a little bit. And depending on what the Ottoman does, he either pressures more or he goes into a little bit more of an economic build and add a stable, for example. If the Ottoman goes for a water boom, then there is still the option for Iroquois to go for a fast fortress, because after all it is one of the best strategies that Iroquois can pull off. And you just have very strong units available, the forest prowlers and the dragoons. And of course you can still take map control with the warheads. And as you see here, one trading post by Goodspeed as a standard start for Ottomans and for Iroquois. And as we see now, by the way, no trading post yet for... is it bugged? Is it? It could be that it's bugged, but it's like... I think it's not actually. I think it's barely not. But anyway, no trading post for the Ottomans yet, and he's going for a dog. So this is the standard Boneng water playstyle. If Goodspeed scouted this, he will for sure know that there's no trading post up. So he will definitely know that there's like let's say a 90% chance of water boom, and he probably will scout with some of his convert guardians later on. But that means that Boneng might want to go for a fast fortress and play it out from there, as it is kind of the safest option then. Maybe raiding a little bit with the Kanyas, but even that is probably not going to be that useful with all the trees available very close to the town center. So, Ottomans still scouting around here. We see that Boneng took 40 food, 30 coin, and also 100 food now. That's of course going to increase his, speed up his age up by quite a bit, 140 food in total. However, Goodspeed also found 60 food and XP, so that means that he gets his villages a little bit earlier as well. Also, he already had his villages, of course, from a trading post. A house being placed here, that's of course the first discovery trava you get as Iroquois when you start with. Just place it somewhere on the map for a line of sight, not too far preferably, because then it might get killed off too easily, but this is a good place. So Boneng then has not, probably not done his 3 villager card. He probably did his water card. That is the here. There's 1 schooners to get cheaper boats, and of course then there you have 700 wood, 600 wood, and then from there on you have to see what you can ship. If you can go for the water card. Otherwise you can go for 700 coin age up. And of course it depends on also what the scouts from the Iroquois doing. But 1 dock so far. I assume there's a second dock coming in anytime. Probably from the 700 wood or from the 400 wood from the age up. He missed my code there, I guess, versus the treasure guardian here. He shot 1, he probably lost his hero to the other one. That means that now Goodspeed will get the 110 wood relatively easy by only converting 1 crocodile, and Boneng being dead there. Blaming himself a little bit for a newbie mistake, which it of course was, but that can happen. Also, by the way, he is from Japan, so it is getting quite late there, which will probably affect his play a little bit as well. So, Warhead very, very far forward. He saw no trading post by now. I'm pretty sure he figured out the water from Boneng. I'm still have to see if he goes for a aggressive strategy. He also get the 110 wood, or if he still goes for the safer fast fortress thing. I think if you can put on some pressure, it's actually good, because the other guy goes for C, and that means that if you deny him from gathering some wood and stuff, he can't make as many boats, and thus his boom is less, and thus his economy is less. So I do like it in a way as well. However, the Trava is it's already building there. We have to see what Goodspeed is going to ship to get a better indication. He's gathering a lot of wood, so that means he's probably not going to go for a fast fortress here. And of course he denied scouting for Boneng. Okay, Boneng is going to pick up this hero with one of the villages that he used for building the docks there. So he can now scout around the map again, because scouting of course is very, very important in this game. A Rex coming up as well, a standard defensive structure just to be able to deal with some of the units. However, the Iroquois is likely to make hyenas and not tomahawks. Yeah, maybe some tomahawks because of course Ottomans has a 3 hussar shipment, but 4 kanyas being shipped, not from the miss point there. It should have been rallied to the war hut instead of the town center, but little mistake there. He's gonna take down the hero, so no more scouting for the Ottomans it is. And there you have some tomahawks. I think he's making maybe some tomahawks to be protected because of 3 hussar shipment possibly, but on the other hand, if the Ottomans go for sea, you'll definitely ship 700 wood first. So I would say that you can build only hyenas from now. With the tomahawks and kanyas and the hero, you will be able to deal with any hussars. So he's gonna push in a little bit, try to damage the villagers. But of course, quick reaction there, putting them in the town center, and sell as the wood crates available, food very close, wood very close as well, and of course gathering on the seabed already, and 10 boats. So that was also the other big button shipment. 10 tomahawks now, so he's really going to go for an aggressive strategy with 20 posts behind. Of course he got the 110 wood, maybe that was something that changes, that made him change his mind. We see it now, nice marker by the kanyas trying to do damage, but as soon as the Janissaries go in melee mode, you immediately put the kanyas back as he shoots it now, and he's doing again. While the other units, all the infantry in the back, is just killing off all the Janissaries. And that's actually already a very rough position for the Ottomans, because he doesn't have any more units. The Iroquois is now parking near his barracks, so anything that pops out will immediately get killed. Just 3 hussars won't be enough. Minutemen can still be used, and he can still ship 5 Janissaries. I think he's probably waiting for the 5 Janissaries. Or he's maybe waiting for trying to kill tomahawks, shipping 3 hussars, using Minutemen on tomahawks, and then dealing with it like that. But it's, yeah, it's either way, it's going to be very risky. I think this is just a good move by Goodspeed here. So no more Rex means no more units, and even though Goodspeed is losing a lot of units by a town center fire. Okay, Ottomans went for the town center card, by the way. So he has a lot of Minutemen available, so what he can do still is pop out Minutemen twice. He puts them out once, but with the resources that he gets on sea, coin and food as you see, he might pop out Minutemen twice to deal with his army. However, the Iroquois is still gathering a lot in the back of this, and that means that he can just keep throwing in units to make sure that the Ottoman is not gathering anything, and then it's not really a problem if he loses any units, because he can just keep surrounding the town center here. Going for the houses now. And 1 additional tomahawk gonna join the battle here. Finally, the crocodile can also attack buildings, by the way. So he got rid of the kanyas, so maybe he can... Now he shipped of course the town center card, so he has no shipment available at this point yet. Keep in mind that an Ottoman without a trading post has less resources available. He still have to use his villages to snipe off one of the tomahawks, but effectively it matters a little bit. You save your town center fire because you can target it on a new unit again, instead of wasting one of the existing units. Okay, so Iroquois is going back for now, and you see that the Ottoman shipped 600 wood, so he's just going to go for more of a boom there, rather than, for example, some units like 3 hussars to deal with this mess. The problem is also, of course, if you ship 3 hussars, the mass that Iroquois at this point will be able to deal with your 3 hussars. So, to be honest, 3 hussars are not going to make that much of a difference. Only if you, for example, lure him like here, and then do the Minutemen again, the second option that you get a lot of Minutemen for 300 coin, 300 food. Use your town center fire and then use 3 hussars. Then you might be able to take out the complete army of the Iroquois, or almost complete army of the Iroquois. Okay, nicely. He's gonna wall the hero so that he can't get out. That's a nice trick there. Haven't seen that much yet in any tournament matches, but it's of course a very nice move. Making another barracks there. Oh no, sorry, artillery foundry and barracks. That's what the 600 wood was for, and an additional market and an additional house there. So he still has, of course, his economy from the sea, and he now is able to indeed make an army with these 2 things. And he still has the Minutemen available, so Goodspeed has to be very careful if he's going to go in again, that he doesn't get trapped too far with any units like Ab's gun popping out and completely destroying his army, and of course still the Minutemen that the Ottomans have available. I'm not sure if he really saw it, that the town center did more damage and thus that the Ottomans sent the Minutemen card, but I suppose he has. Okay, he's coming in for another push there. Goodspeed Boneng. Okay, Boneng responds on time, not losing any village there. And the hero is there trapped, as you see. Of course, if the hero is revived here, that still means that every unit in this area will still get boosted in HP. But of course, you can't bring it with your army how you want it. So a nice mix of tomahawks and hyenas here. The tomahawks are of course to add to the siege damage. And Boneng is just now waiting for his 5 Abyss guns to pop out before he can and want to engage in this. Meanwhile, of course, map control goes to Goodspeed, having just access to all of this with some market upgrades in the back, so his economy is kind of going well. But let's take a quick look here. The boats, of course, were very well boomed here by Boneng. 5 villager shipments from Iroquois after the Kanyas and the 600 wood. And there you see that the economy is even a little bit better for Goodspeed. So if he's able to continue it like this, he will definitely have a good shot at taking this game. Stables up as well, and a fire pit, so he's gonna use that to bring back his hero, I assume. There you see it, by the way, you see this little icon, that means that he's gonna revive his hero with the fire pit. Okay, so more Janissaries, no Abyss guns yet, so I'm really curious to see what Boneng is trying to go for. Still has the 135 town center damage. Keep in mind, by the way, that it also increases your town center damage. The card not only gives you the option to do Minutemen again, so that means that you get, I believe, if you have 10 villages in, you get 135 damage. You get 50% bonus. Also, if you want to have 90 attack, for example, because you don't need 135 twice to kill a tomahawk, you can also go for 2 shots of 90. That will also kill a tomahawk. You can for example, put in 8 villages, have 90 attack still, instead of putting in 10 villages, or 7 even. Not sure, I have to do the calculation again. But the idea is just to save as many villages and put them on resources while you have as few villages as possible in your town center, because those villages in your town center are of course idle and not doing anything useful. Interesting to see that he's on berries while he still has a lot of food available. Not sure why, but Iroquois is now pushing out on the wrecks of the Ottomans here. The Ottomans should still be waiting, but he's not making anything. Maybe he's just aging up. That could also be the case. And then of course with the resource that he has, a lot of food and a lot of gold, he can go for example, Spahi, Mamelukes, and even maybe 2 cannons with some protection. But he's not making any units, so there we go, he aged up. With a fast age up, that is there no tower? No, there is no tower. Additional houses there. So the fast age up, so that means that he has now soon either Spahis or Mamelukes. I think he would go for Mamelukes because they are just stronger. That means that he has to use his Minutemen again on the tomahawks, on the on the Kanyas, so that he can use the cavalry on the hyenas. And if you take a quick look at the economy, we see that he has 1k resources unspent, so that is probably, or almost probably, going to be the 1k for either of these Spahis or Mamelukes. Okay, now he's first gonna use Minutemen. I don't really like the positioning there. He's gonna kill a lot of units. He's gonna put some meta mode, as you see, to slow down his unit, the Iroquois units. Okay, there we have it. 1k resources were spent into Spahis. Together with the Minutemen and the Janissaries that he had, oh there they are, he will be able to take down a lot of these tomahawks, and of course his Spahis will be with the area damage very effective as well. He's now gonna focus fire all the ranged damage on the tomahawks, while the Spahis in the front are still doing the same amount of damage with the area damage. 35 3 area damage. However, there are so many tomahawks mixed in that Goodspeed should be able to deal with his army, as you see here. Also, having revived his hero, he will benefit again from the HP bonus, and also he has sent 1 card, as you see, because the tomahawk now has 189 damage. I think actually that sending Mamelukes would have been better than Spahi, to be honest. He has access to the sea and to coins, so I'm not sure why he didn't went for gold from the humpback whales and went for Mamelukes instead. But anyway, he killed off quite a big chunk of the Iroquois army, and that was of course a good trade still. He has his town center alive, he has a barracks again, and he has the artillery foundry, so he can mix in some Abyss guns as well. And of course he now has still the Mamelukes available to send in the next as next card. Take a quick look at the economy again. 1480 resources. Oh, I almost clicked there. So they still has a lot of resources available, so he can definitely ship another card. But the problem is he has no trading post at that point. Therefore his XP comes in relatively slowly, and he doesn't have a church either. So yeah, his XP comes in a bit slower. Of course, he did kill quite a lot of units, so he must have another shipment soon, I would say. Still not managed to finish this wall here, as you see there. Oh, wait a second. Oh yeah, I said he shipped 600 wood, but of course it was 4 Kanya, then the 5 tomahawks probably, or 6 hyenas, and then the 5 villagers. So he just now makes ships 600 wood and... Yes, okay. But still, second training post coming up now for the Iroquois, and still he has of course complete control of the map so far. Because the Ottomans just stays in his base. He is not mixing in any ambush guns so far. You see that he's gonna build a dock, is he? He's gonna make canoes. Yes, he's gonna make canoes and build a water army from there to kind of fight Boneng on land, on water. But this should be a line of sight of the ship, so Boneng should know about this, and that means that he should be able to respond with this, for example, with some making some ships, or maybe even ship a frigate or so. There we have the Mamelukes. I was waiting for it. Janissaries being upgraded as well, but still there are so many tomahawks that this would not be a cost-effective trade for Mamelukes either. If he would only mix in like 5 Abbas guns, it would do so much here. It would help him a lot with the Janissaries being able to protect the Abbas guns. It would do him a lot, really. So maybe he is waiting for 5 Abbas guns. That's interesting. He puts the canoes in his dock instead of using canoes to attack. Okay, he's probably afraid of a ship, and there we have a ship there. So there we have more Janissaries, no Abbas guns yet. Okay, he might be waiting for the cannons. That's also an option. Of course, if you have cannons mixed in, you are very able to deal with this infantry mass from Iroquois. Actually, the Mamelukes are not the most frightening thing. Cannons in the Second Age, as Iroquois being in the Second Age, are the most annoying thing to deal with if Ottoman guards it with Janissaries. But he does really kind of 2 docks in fact there, so he does kind of prevent the Ottomans from going past this point. So only resources this point available. But of course, as we saw the Ottoman doing with the Portuguese before on this map, he can build a dock here. Oh, he's actually going for, you see a village there. Make a dock on the other side and go for water there. He is trying to go in, but I don't like this. 3 Abbas guns not enough. I don't like this. He should go back. He loses 1 Mameluke there for nothing. He should wait for cannons or more Abbas guns. Definitely. 1 villager there, which is going to build a dock anytime soon to kind of get the water boom going on that side as well. Why are these Mamelukes coming in there? Don't. More Janissaries, that's nice. Of course, Janissaries do have quite a lot of HP, as you see there. 282 versus just 250 of these tomahawks. And that is, by the way, with the cards already. By now he has used the infantry, of course the boost from his hero, and he used 189. I think he used 2 of the cards. Not sure. I think he didn't use the 3rd one yet. 250. 150. Then is 65. 72. I think now he did use all 3 cards probably. Okay. Anyway, his tomahawks are quite good, of course, but the Janissaries are very good as well. So what have we here? Some more canoes popping out there. Immediately going to be tasked into this dock again. Now it has quite some canoes in it with 120 anti-ship attack. So this is going to be hard for Goodspeed for Boneng to deal with. Okay, there we have it, the 2 cannons. So that was what he was waiting for, and now he can definitely push out. And that means that I think Goodspeed at this point is probably going to sacrifice this position. I would really like to see him building, for example, another warhead. Okay, he's doing that already. To fall back to. Even a warhead here would be nice. Aging up in the back of this to just upgrade your units, because at this point you can go for a bigger mass in the Second Age, but the problem is your units just need to be better to deal with this mass. And that's why I would really like an age up to upgrade your units, have access to forest prowlers, very good skirmishers, have access to some dragoons as well to try to take some Mamelukes easier, and also try to perhaps surprise the cannons from the back. He is making some kanyas, and he did sacrifice some kanyas, but he will take out 1 cannon. Listen, look, 3 kanyas sacrificed for 1 cannon is a trade you want to make any time of the day. It's so much easier to engage in a 1 cannon army than in a 2 cannon army. And that's exactly what he's going to do at this point, with his hero still in the back. I believe he can still use the correct shot. The units should be focus firing the cannon, and okay, finally they're doing so. You take out the cannon. And now there's of course a lot of tomahawks available, but a lot of agents in the back still as well. It is going still good for the Ottoman though, with just 3 Abbas guns in the back doing so much damage to the tomahawks. 40 siege damage, just times 1.5 is 60 siege damage to a tomahawk. So that means 4 shots and a tomahawk is dead. Okay, a lot of cannons being made by Goodspeed. That was what he was investing in. Of course, his ships now being put in a dock here, with of course the tower helping out as well. He's gonna take out this caravel there, but the boats are now all gonna rescue into the docks there, and he's just gonna pass this point. He's just gonna pass the 2 docks and the tower to do damage from this point, because you see all the boats here have no tower, no dock to fall back to. So he would really be, he can do good damage, you see here, without getting shot by the tower. Actually, this canoe should move there. Okay, so Mamelukes now going in for a raid, and meanwhile he had built also 2 docks here to go for the boats on that side. Mameluke's going to find some villages there, and he shipped a frigate to deal with these cannons. The cannons of Goodspeed are dealing with the boats rather than the frigate. Actually, I think it's quite an okay choice. No, actually not. The thing is that he mined out so much of the sea already, he only has like a few coin available, so to be honest, it doesn't really matter that much. Take out the boats. Okay, he's also pushing in here with still 3 arms guns available, and the second warhead coming up there. The Kanya is now dealing with the Mamelukes, and that's of course an effective trade here. Oh, wait, he misclicks. He wants to go to the battle. Probably the Kanyas were in the same group, but he corrects it right away. He still doesn't know about the docks of Boneng at this side of the map, which can be very dangerous for him, because Boneng would just go for a second sea boom here and have a lot of resources available. 3 arms guns still, no more arms guns being mixed in. I really like it if you did mix in some more arms gun. However, this army is still quite strong. But he already used the 3 best shipments. Okay, he makes cannons from his artillery foundry. That's actually an even better choice than the Ibis guns, because you have so many Janissaries to protect it. Cannons are really something, as I mentioned before, which is hard for the Iroquois to deal with at this stage in the game. Still second age. Of course, the resources are at some point running out for him on the map as well. So this is going to be really hard for the Iroquois. Trying to move some Kanya to the back, but they're just too well protected by the Janissaries, and I don't like why Goodspeed is taking this battle. I really don't like it. Yeah, he's just gonna protect it very well again, and even if you go in with the Kanyas like this, use your hyenas on the cannons. Okay, he's finally doing it now. At first he was not shooting the cannons with the hyenas, but now he's finally using his hyenas, as you saw there. Focus firing both the Kanyas and the hyenas on top of the cannons. And then again you have still a very good army left, because you have a lot of hyenas in the back of this, which of course do count the Janissaries. Which is why Ottomans do need more Ibis guns, or preferably cannons here, to deal with this. But meanwhile the Ottomans is gathering a lot of wood here to get the sea boom going again. And so far still a very close game. I would give the advantage to Ottomans by a little bit, mainly because of this sea boom on this side of the map, which Goodspeed has no knowledge about yet. And he will be able to gather here, because there are not many boats left from Goodspeed. He should even use his frigate, to be honest, to clean out these boats and this dock from Goodspeed. And I really wonder when Goodspeed is going for an 8-job. He could even take this treasure, by the way. 300 wood is of course very nice for the Iroquois. I'm surprised he doesn't take it so far. Okay, going in for a little bit of a raid, but it's getting scouted there by Ottomans. And the Ottomans is now going for food here on the map as well. And finally taking training post, so the answer is that it was not bugged. And because he has no more food available on the berries, and of course he's kind of running out on the food on this side on the sea, he's now going for food around the map. And that means that it's going to be easier for the Iroquois to at some point kind of deny the Ottomans from map control with another warhead, for example here. Okay, so he makes a dock there, and he is also making canoes, so he will now also fight Boneng on this side of the sea. That means that it's going to look very good for the Iroquois. A moss coming up finally. I expected it a lot earlier, to be honest, because he needs XP together with the trading post. These Janissaries are going to walk into their death if they're not going to be repointed. Of course, 5 canoes is not going to do that much if the boats are going to hide in the dock. However, he will deny Boneng from gathering resources, and that's the most important thing here, because in the meantime, the economy of Goodspeed is still flourishing and is still getting a lot of resources. However, Boneng is a little bit ahead, as you see there. Ahead because I say, well, that was a thought for me. I said ahead because he was ahead in village account. However, Boneng is on sea, and half of his boats are not were idle. For example, were idle here, have been idle here for a long time, and are now idle here, as you can see there. So he doesn't have the full use of his villagers. Also, it means that Goodspeed is going on full land, so he has probably the better market upgrades for land compared to Boneng. So the villagers for Boneng are not as useful on land. And finally he fixed his wall. He has to make a gate there. And he pushes out with 2 cannons here. Wisely, I think at this point that Goodspeed went back. So he lost 1 warhead and 2 houses there. He still has 2 warriors in the back, and he does need to revive his hero. He has to wait for that. A lot of hyenas being made, so he's just going to go for the overwhelming thing. He's not going to go for the 3rd age. He's just going to go for an overwhelming mass of units, attacking on sea at the same time. And I'll probably press now. Okay, that Kanya was almost taken out the cannon. Okay. So he will now be able to deal with this very easily. Cannons taken out in a second. You see there, he spread the fire, very nice. Even the second cannon didn't get off the shot. And now he has a ton of hyenas to deal with this. Waited for the right moment. 10 hyenas more joining the battle there, and now it's looking better and better for Goodspeed. As you also see it, he's ahead 10 score. Of course, this wall will be able to will mean that Boneng can retreat for now. However, Goodspeed can just seize the wall with the tomahawks and let the hyenas do the range damage to the Janissaries. 8 Janissaries being shipped there, by the way, for Boneng. And is Goodspeed gonna take this treasure? Not yet. He made a frigate. Boneng made a frigate, built a tower, so he's really gonna have to protect the sea because it's kind of his only chance to get back here. Of course, he has limited amount of villages. He probably built a church also to do the upgrade. But if he can't take control of the sea, he will lose the income here, and that means that he loses a lot of food income as well. And that means it's gonna be really, really hard for him to come back. A little bit of harassment there by Goodspeed, positioning on the resources there for Boneng, so that he can't get any food here. So Boneng has to get back again into his town center, and of course he has only the Janissary, so without cannons he won't be able to engage this army. And to be honest, he needs like 3 cannons now, because 2 cannons are not going to cut it, because there's just such an overwhelming mass of Goodspeed. And even finally another warhead coming up there to really get the whole map control. He has this side here, another warhead there, very nice. Still he has a line of sight here, so he's really containing Boneng. But no more pressure on the sea yet, so he's leaving that for now and just probably going to go for the infantry mass. I think it's nice that he pushes in because there are no more cannons now, so he knows he has the advantage with the lot of hyenas countering the Janissaries perfectly. There we have 2 cannons popping out. Okay, so we have to see how he approaches this. He will take 2 big shots, but he is gonna stay here, not going into the cannons. Either go back or go in straight away. He is gonna go back. Just barely go back out of range. It's very nice micro, by the way. The tomahawks pulling back a little bit so they can still siege. And the hyenas are just barely out of range with cannons, but still were able to pick off 1 or 2 Janissaries there. So good micro there by Goodspeed to really do the maximum amount of damage as possible. And even while he's retreating, he's still taking out as many as he can before really being in range again of these cannons. So he should be able to take out his trading post, I assume, before he's gonna leave again. And there he does so. Loses 1 or 2, but that's no problem. He takes out trading post and he should go back again. A stable there from Boneng, by the way, so I might go for some sneaky raids from the back side. And this frigate, of course, should maybe be able to take out should be going to take out these the dock there for Goodspeed. Of course, the remaining boats here, some of them were killed. No, not killed yet. Some of them were still idle, and the others were just posted on the wheels there with infinite coin. Still bringing in, of course, all the coin. That's why he's still able to make all these cannons. 1 cannon there in the back is left. I think he forgot about it. He definitely needs to bring it with his army so he can push out. If he can get to like 4 or 5 cannons, it would be really something that's gonna hard for Goodspeed as well to deal with, because cannons just protected by Janissaries. I mean, 2 cannons you can engage with, because you can just throw away some units while you take out the cannons. But if there are 4 cannons, they shoot 4 at a time, and then you're gonna lose so many units in the process if you want to take out the cannons from close. So that's gonna be really hard. I believe that line of sight from this villager scouted this house now, but probably not a stable yet. However, it looks like the Kanyas are going there. Another tower there, just really getting control of this whole seaside, because that's, as I said before, it's his only option here to win this game. Another trading post coming up again, and the Kanyas indeed go for the villagers there and the stable as well. Might be a good moment for Boneng to push out if he has this cannon and soon 1 or 2 cannons joining the battle, because all the tomahawks, even all the tomahawks and the Kanyas are now working on this stable. That means that he's totally out of position. That means it's a perfect time for Boneng to push out, as he now seems to do so when he sees all these Kanyas here together with the joining tomahawks. Only hyenas are left here, so he's now going to push out here. Of course, some new tomahawks and some new units being made, but he can definitely push out here and do some damage, which he is going to do. By the way, 317 HP, that means that he's also shipped his Janissary card in the 3rd age. And that cannon should be joining. And this cannon should be microed on the hyenas. And I would like the hyenas to... okay, no, that's not what I like. I should move the Janissaries a little bit in front there. You don't need all of them to block the Kanyas there. I would really like the hyenas to be moved in their that mode that I should say, the mode that the stagger mode. That means that they split more and there's less area damage from cannon shots. But what Boneng did was a misstep here. You don't need all these Janissaries to block off these Kanyas. You should have, while you have cannon fire, the Hyenas are not targeting your Janissaries or less. It means that at that same time you should have your Janissaries protecting the cannon and stay in front of it, so that you will be able to kill a lot of Hyenas with these Janissaries while the cannons do damage in the back. Okay, Boneng did edge up, as you see there. The cannon will barely be saved. Get one shot off, very nice, good micro there. It is going down in the end, but he got off one more shot. And that means that Goodspeed, in fact, for taking... Okay. For going out of position with his whole army there, this is just a very weird... He was out of position, he didn't even kill the stable. I mean, maybe let some Kanyas deal with it, but why would all Tomahawks be out of position? Why is even... I'm not sure why he resigned. He has so many Kanyas still, and he can easily remass Hyenas. I mean, he still has resources here available, he has some here, not that much of course. Yeah, he has to go on farms quite soon, while Boneng still has complete control of the sea. But he still has some resources available here. Actually, it was, in my opinion, a bad move to move away. I think actually, if he would have moved all his army together, all the Tomahawks, with of course reviving the hero, I'm not sure where it is now, oh it is dead here, with the Tomahawks, with all the Hyenas, he might have done, and especially also with the additional Kanyas being mixed in, he would have done a much better job and might have been able to take out this army from Boneng, which was really the key here, and then maybe even take out the town center. Because now he threw all the arenas away, of course took a lot of cannon shots here, took some cannon shots here and a lot of Janissary shots with like 317 HP versus 137. They still do pretty decent with their 27 attack. So I don't like that Goodspeed went out of position all the way to that stable with both his Kanyas and his Tomahawks. That was not a good move in my opinion. Yeah, but Boneng played it pretty well. You see how OP water actually is if you do it well. Although I don't really like that the way that Goodspeed... The rush was nice, but the problem is that rushing like this you also sacrifice some economy early on. And I think that maybe some pressure into a fast fortress would have been a safer way to perhaps win this game. Hard to say, because of course you also want to pressure the Ottomans a little bit so that he can't really do as much with his sea. So the rush I think was good. He did some damage, killed the Rex, killed some units, but I think he should have aged up earlier at some point to make sure that he just has upgraded units. And just the upgrade matters a lot, and you can deal a lot better with the units from, especially if you mix in some Dragoons as well, you can better deal with the units I think from the Ottomans. So I think aging up earlier would have been a better thing, to be honest. Or maybe a fast fortress right away, but that's of course in this long map maybe not the best, because then you give your opponent a lot of time to boom from the sea. And that means that his economy is only going to be even stronger. Okay, so that means that it is now currently 4-2. 4-2 for Boneng, if I say it correctly. Yeah, I believe Boneng is up 4-2. It's a BO9. Again, a quick reminder, it's not an official PK tournament match, it is just a show match for the community, for you guys, for the fans and for the sponsors. To just show you a nice BO9. It's BO9 thus, that means the first one to get to 5 wins will win this series. So far Boneng up 4-2 means that Goodspeed has to make something happen. We saw by the way that Goodspeed took the OP civilizations on the water map, so Iroquois on Yucatan, Japanese on Saguenay, and then Boneng went for the water stretch every time, Portugese on Saguenay, now just Ottomans on Yucatan. So that kind of neglects a little bit the OP-ness of the civilizations if you go for the OP-ness of water, boom. But okay, Painted Desert is the 7th map, 4-2 for Boneng so far. We have Goodspeed playing Dutch versus Boneng playing Indians. Actually, I do have to give again Indians a little bit of an advantage, to be honest, in this matchup, especially also on this map, by the way, with the cows and with the small distance between them. So I'm not sure why Goodspeed took Dutch there. But it is still an interesting matchup. We saw it played out on Patagonia, where eventually Boneng also went for water again, winning that game with water. But Goodspeed made a misstep, I believe, on that game with kind of a misjudgment about what Boneng was doing and what he could be expecting. Kind of going for a very forward base to get the map, but also then again going for a lot of economy with a few units out, and then he kind of got by surprise by the army that Boneng had at that point, and of course the nice trick that Boneng used of using the treasure guardians to also siege the Agra fort. So Dutch there, a very nice herd already. This herd there. They are Boneng is not going for an all-out rush. You see here he's gathering some food as well. Some wood as well to just keep making some villages. 60 XP for Boneng, 20 coin earlier, and we have 55 coin in the back still for Goodspeed and 40 XP, but it's not being taken yet. Boneng did find 2 cows and Goodspeed found 2 cows as well. This one is barely alive, of course, because the elephant did area damage to the hero, so it also damages the cow a little bit. But there are still 2 cows available here, and I believe I saw some other, but I missed them. This Inca is going to be very, very nice as well if someone can use it. Of course, you won't be able to take down Agra fort with it, but you can harass heroes and villages, or maybe even a house. So yeah, what can we expect here? There's not going to be a full-out rush from Boneng. I think Boneng is going to go for the Agra fort for map control. Sorry, and then probably for a more economic build in the back of this, coming down with infantry and camels. Goodspeed has 2 options, going for the longer second age with skirmisher pike and some hussars, or going for a relatively faster third, trying to battle it out from there. That relatively faster third is more of an option because Boneng went for not a rush. However, he can still put on some pressure with the Agra fort with the shipments that he has and the units that he can make. So you won't be able to get to fortress that easily, but a 2-3 bank fortress might still be an option. And then go for skirmisher rider from there. So you see that very nicely. Boneng positioned 1 elephant over here, attack the first bear, that means the other 2 come join closely, and then both of the elephants will do area damage to the bears, and thus he took not that much damage, but he took out all the 3 bears. Nice XP boost, but also of course saves the Incan Huaminca. Scout there from the Dutch, trying to find what India is doing, of course. The Dutch by now is aging, and you see also Dutch age of course quite fast, so a little bit faster than India as well, and he's now gathering a lot of food to make the banks. And this the elephants and the Inca will just try to harass a little bit here probably. So 4 cows by both actually, so that's fair. He will damage his villager. As you see here, the Incan Huaminca has 15 damage versus a villager. Actually that is then 15 times 0.8 output damage because of the 0.2 resistance of a villager. So he makes his bank with just 1 villager. That's surprising. Usually you see 2 or 3 just to get it up a little bit faster, get the XP a little bit faster, and also get the coin income a little bit faster. And now of course his other villager is going to be attacked by the Incan Huaminca. So the one that's going up is an Agra fort, very defensive, so he might even go for the 3rd age. I forgot to mention by the way that Boneng likes his 3rd, 4th age place even with India. So he might even go for just that instead of pressure early on the Dutch guy. But that means that Goodspeed has more room to go for a 3rd age, for another bank, etc. because of this defensive play from the Indian guy. And actually he's starting with his stable, so I think he is indeed going to raid a little bit and then just make 1 or 2 more banks and go to the 3rd age from there and play that from there. A wall coming up there to protect the Agra from being sieged. No market yet, but we have to see what his first ship is going to be when he ages up. The Incan warrior here is doing a great job still. He will indeed get this villager. You see how nice he used the elephants to block this villager. I don't like these natives by the way in the fan patch. Luckily they have negative bonus versus villagers because they are quite OP as you see here. Just too much damage and HP actually. It makes too much of a difference early on, I don't like it. But then again Boneng did a good job with blocking it off with the elephants, and Goodspeed should have brought this villager to his town center earlier and swap it with another villager. So market coming up there, and there a house for line of sight. So this looks to be quite a defensive game from both. That means that I will have time to eat another rice cracker because I'm still very hungry. So hold on a moment, I'm just gonna observe this for now. 5 hussars there, by the way, going in for a raid, of course. I don't like what Goodspeed is doing here. He tries to micro nicely with his character to pull a low HP one back. But there's Agrafort fire, Town Center fire, 2 Sepoys, 2 elephants and the Inca and Minka. And that means that you lose a lot of HP. I don't think it's worth it killing what he has killed. Not even killing one villager. Sorry, killing one, no, not even one villager. Or losing 5 hussars. I really don't like that move. So this is the bank wagon there, and then we have 700 wood. Probably gonna add another bank and then age up, I say. He did see that Boneng only made 1 sepoy there. Well, he could see, I'm not sure if he did see it, but he could have seen so. So that means that he knows, or could know, that Boneng is also going for a very defensive playstyle. And probably for a 3rd age himself. So then Goodspeed has more time to to indeed make another bank. 2 banks in fact. So he has 4 banks now, then he can go to Fortress with a very nice army. Eco. Good response there by Goodspeed. Pulling the villager back on time. These ones as well. He probably wants to keep gathering as long as possible because he's aging up and doesn't want to delay his age up too much. So he tries to keep gathering as much as possible without losing the villager. Although that one is going down, he has low HP already. You need of course 6 separate shots to kill a villager. So Goodspeed did ship 600 wood, of course because he made 2 banks of the 700 wood. Losing a villager there, stop, you should pull them in the town center. Low HP. But anyway, because he made 2 banks from the 700 wood, he of course needs 600 wood to build in more houses, a market, and he also needs a Rex when he's in the 3rd age. He's aging any time now. One more villager going down. And a 3rd villager? Oh no, it was a sepoy. This is weird by Boneng. He makes another 5 sepoys. Consulate, but it's kind of a slow... It's not semi-FF, like going relatively fast to the Fortress Age. He goes for a lot of economy, it looks like. Before wanting to age up. As you see here, Goodspeed lost 1 villager to the Inca and Minka, but he lost 2, 3, 4, 6 villages in total. That's just too much to just a few separate raids. That's not something that can happen actually. Although he is Dutch with 4 banks, so he can still come back from this, but there's actually too many villages, that should not be the case. Okay, he does have a nice setup. He's not going for the Rex Reuter, skirmisher Reuter composition. He's going for artillery foundry, as you see over here. Of course, he doesn't have that much food available, also because of the raids from the Indian guy. And the food is relatively far, so with 4 banks, the gold mine, still not a gold mine here, and a lot of wood available. It is a good option to go for cannons, especially of course because you still have to take down the Agrafort. You have to take down a lot of infantry from the Indian player. However, the Indian player can go for Urumis, and then you need something more than just a warrior to protect your cannons, I feel. 1k wood now by Goodspeed, okay. So we see that Boneng is also aging up. He's aging with the Taj Mahal. That is, of course, the one that gives you the option to do the ceasefire ability, but also it gives you the 700 coin, no, maybe 600 or something, which will, of course, allow you to age up to the 4th age easier, faster. Which is probably looks like that's what he's going for. Goodspeed is not scouting anything. That it's not. I mean, you have your hero here. Go scout the map, find out what your opponent is doing. What is he aging with? Does he have more map control? How much army units does he have? What can I expect from him? Maybe a Gurkha Zemburek composition for now. 3 Hussars trying to raid there, but he has warriors in position already. 1 cannon, okay. So there he aged up indeed, and it is then 500, 600, 700, 800 coin. Okay, 800. One Hussar tried to raid here, but it got sniped off. And he's gonna lose both. So, 4 cannons now from Goodspeed. Made 1 earlier at 3 now in the second batch. Made some Reuters, ship 9 Reuters as we saw. Now he decides to push out here. Town center coming up for Boneng there. Typical Boneng style. Knowing that you're probably going to lose your base for a little bit. Maybe aging in the back of this soon. And then having a second town center available to defend from there. Sorry, I will be focusing on the game again and eat later. Something interesting happened there. I believe he got in right on time to shoot with the Gurkhas, but the moment the cannons were about to shoot at the Gurkhas, he used the ceasefire ability. So that means he got off the HP of the cannon here for a lot, but he didn't get hit by the cannons. Those Gurkhas didn't get hit by the cannons yet. Now, of course, he took a lot of big shots there. Usually, of course, you don't want to engage cannons, especially just 4 cannons. He ships 2 of his siege elephants there. They are, of course, a mixture of culverins and cannons. Actually, they are not a culverin, not a cannon, falconet cannon, but more like they do very well with cannons and counter it, as you see there. Good range, 28. That's more than the falconets, and also they should be moving in. There's one with siege elephant. That's very unfortunate there. Now he should be able to take out this cannon. Shoot, come on, shoot. Okay, focus on this one. I think that's a good move, because this other one was low HP already. You can get it with the Zembureks as he does. He should be focusing with the Zembureks on the second cannon right away though, as he's doing now. And the elephants as well, as you see there, even coming out near him now. And that means that he will be able to take down the cannon so far, and that means the warriors that are all that left have to pull back for now, because they're just Gurkhas skirmishers available. Three more cannons there from Goodspeed. I hope he's gonna make some more warrior as well. Of course, Boneng can make the siege elephant from a castle. That's like his cannon artillery foundry stuff. He shipped them once, and like Japan, of course, you can't ship them once, not twice. But he's now going to go for Yurumis, and they of course will be able to do decent versus cannons, although they do have hand attack, but ranged hand attack. Kind of the weird odd unit in this game. So the cannons will have 0.75 resistance to Yurumis. So they will go melee and do decent, but it's not going to be that easy still. I would really like it, for example, if Goodspeed mixed in like 6 halberdiers or something, but he doesn't have a Rex yet. He ships the skirmishers. Let me take a quick look. He doesn't have halberdiers in his deck. If you just mass Reuter and some skirmisher, you're still fine as well. The scores are quite similar, by the way. No Fort Age yet, of course. Goodspeed is making units. But we see that the villager count, he boomed a lot there. That is, of course, the Ottoman villager thing that you get for villagers. 2 town centers. That means that Goodspeed had to catch up with all this economy, but Goodspeed only has 4 banks now. Well, you see Boneng has 50 villages, so he has a better economy at this point. The cannon is just trying to do as much damage as they can, but I really like Goodspeed to build a church anytime soon and get some more economy out. However, he tries to, for this moment, he can't get that, of course, because he has to put out first. And that means you have to sacrifice some economy for making some more army. And I think it's very nice that he hides these hussars over there. I hope he's going to even upgrade them to veteran hussars. They will of course be able to deal with Yurumis very nice as well. So be really careful with the cannons. He has to pull back now. 2 Mahouts being shipped. Now the hussars should be used to block. He micros nicely, but he should micro the cannon on the Gurkhas, not on the Yurumis I feel. Micro on the Gurkhas. There he's now, you saw he's refocused, and there he's now firing on the Gurkhas there. But he loses all his cannons in the process. The hussars should be taken should be used to take out the Yurumis, and the Iroquois should be focused on the Zamoraks. However, the Zamoraks will be taken out by the hussars nevertheless. Not great, by the way, and the hussars will not have access to these Gurkhas in the back, together with the skirmishers. Okay, he's allied with the British, and he does a shipment, that's the intervention card. So he will be able to protect the Gurkhas from the hussars. So Goodspeed has to wait for another batch of hussars there to help out. I wanted to look at Boneng's deck. He did you. Okay, Goodspeed resigns. Yeah, I think the problem is that he probably knows that by now with 4 banks versus India's economy at this point, also seeing score is hard. However, I felt it was not completely over. If you can bring a few more cannons, then although his gold mine is out, so he has to go to this one. Yeah, he was in a bad position, but I didn't feel it was over yet. Yeah. Okay, so that means that Goodspeed lost this one. That means that Boneng wins it 5-2. And that means that he wins this Showmatch Best of 9 series versus Goodspeed. I'm not sure if they're still there, but thank you both for playing this Best of 9. So yeah, I believe it's now 5-2 for Boneng. And there you see also, by the way, the economy that India has with the 2nd town center. At some 4 banks are enough till like 15 minutes in the game, but then you need some more as well to deal with a good economy like India has, and of course the good units that India has available as well. So guys, thanks for watching. This was the show match. It was not an official PK tournament match. It was a show match between Goodspeed and Boneng. They decided to still play this match for you guys, the community, the fans, the sponsors, and so that I could cast it with some comments for you all. So Boneng takes this one 5-2.